How much would you bet on a prediction? Let's make a bet. In sports, plenty of beer and pizza changes hands based on predictions of who will win the next game. Bettors look at statistics and trends and make a decision based on what's come before. So let's try one. In 2011, the NBA basketball season was down to two teams, the Memphis Grizzlies and the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs had won 4 championships, while the Grizzlies had never even made it to the playoffs. What's more, the Spurs had a higher field goal rate over the course of the season, suggesting they scored more often. That led 12 out of 12 professional sports analysts at ESPN to predict the Spurs would take the title. So what bet would you make? If you went with the experts from ESPN, you owe me a pizza. Of course, surprises happen all the time, and you can never predict the future. But you can look to the past for stories that shape it. You might be surprised to know that the win was predictable in the numbers all along. It's just that the data wasn't found in what the NBA presents. Why did the Spurs' statistics look so much better? It's because of the choices the NBA made about how it collects those statistics. The NBA's field goal average looks at 2 and 3-point shots, combined into a single value. Then they find the average. So imagine if the Spurs took twice as many of those riskier 3-point shots than the Grizzlies, but actually took fewer of those safer 2-point shots. Even within a single game, the Spurs could have a better percentage of 2-point shots and 3-point shots and still have a lower field goal average. This is called Simpson's paradox, and you can dig deeper to find out how it works. But let's talk about what it means. It can happen anywhere, well beyond the world of sports. Combine any 2 sets of statistics, and you risk losing the story told by the data. The more data you combine, the more uncertainty you might introduce. It can show up in decisions about who gets into universities, who gets put into prisons, and maybe even who gets elected. When we talk about artificial intelligence today, we're often talking about machine learning. What's the difference? Artificial intelligence is the idea that machines can think, or at least mimic human thinking. For now, researchers are focusing on a branch of AI called machine learning. It's a way to get a machine to learn from its experiences and use those experiences to react to future events. You can think of machine learning as a sports commentator on ESPN. It looks at data and it makes predictions. Those predictions can offer new insights and help steer our decisions. But without proper oversight, we also might lose crucial pieces of the stories that we need to know to shape policy and make decisions about people's lives. You have a role to play in how AI and machine learning are used in public policy. We don't have to be afraid of these technologies. Instead, let's think carefully about how to ensure that the right statistics are at the center of our policy. If a machine is looking at large sets of statistics and making predictions, how do we know we can trust those predictions? How might we introduce oversight to help us verify and interpret our data, to assure us that the stories it tells us are true? The stakes are higher than a few slices of pizza. Voters want to know, how much would you bet their well-being on a prediction?